What's going on, guys? We're DragsterTV here, back at it again. And today, guys, we're back here on SnowRunner. Now, for today's SnowRunner video, guys, essentially what we're going to be going ahead and doing is just simply taking a look at this brand new mod. Now, this mod is the CCM FSLR 90, completely created, designed, and uploaded by Fred's Wayne. Just by taking a quick look at it, first off, you guys may notice that it will resemble a very similar mod called the 110, completely created, designed, and uploaded by T&B Big Dubs 420. Alright, guys, however, they are different. The story behind this truck is that this was an import sold through CCM dealerships. Part of the deal was that everyone sold in the States would lose the suspension and drivetrain, as these were generally seen as the weaker parts of the vehicle, and instead be sold with a custom frame and domestic drivetrain options from the CCM catalog. While most customers stuck with a 4-link coil setup, some went with the options this one has, which was a traditional leaf setup with leaves on all 4 corners. Whether you're just trailing or trying to get fuel to a truck that's stuck in the woods, the FSLR can get it done for you. Now, that was pretty much just the description of the truck for when you guys do find it in the mod browser. So now, without further ado, let's just go and hop straight into the customization. So starting off here, you're going to start off with a default block. You can go down 1 to performance block and then down to the big block. Alright, guys, so we're going to go and run the big block. Entering our gearbox section here, you guys will notice that we are going to start out with the default 5-speed. We can go on to a highway and off gearbox. Gonna go ahead and run a highway gearbox for all our tests today. Now, hopping into suspension, you're gonna start with stock here, and you can go down 1 to tuned custom, which seems like it's gonna be just a bit more active. As you guys can see, does not sit any higher or anything. It's just gonna soften up the suspension for when going over rough terrain. For our tires here, we're gonna start out with 31-inch MSIs. We can go all the way down here to 35-inch Fresh Gateway Buckshot Mutters. We're going to go and run those. Here are all your winch options. When it comes to a snorkel, you do have the option of running a tall front-facing snorkel. Moving on into visuals here, we're going to go into accessories. Here's just what it normally looks like here. And we can have the option to put a bed cap on it, fuel drums, and a spare tire, which I believe this spare tire goes along with it very nicely. So we're going to go ahead and run that. Moving on into accessories, so we can put a skid plate on if we really want. Let's see what it looks like without it. No, I won't keep a skid plate, even though for our suspension tests, we might want one. Moving on into our front bumper options, we have various options. We're going to start out with just our normal front and rear bumper here, but we can have another option, which will add a little bit more weight to the front, and that is a different front bumper. Moving on into our rims here, you're going to have 1 rim option, and that is what you get. So now moving on into color, here are all your beautiful 2-tone color options that you guys can feel free to put on the truck. What color was it that really fit it? I feel like this white fits it. However, green is just something about it. Like, we're not going to spend much more time in here. We're going to go ahead and run ourselves a nice white. So calling that good to go, let's go and hop right out. So now for reviewing the truck, first thing you will notice with the tuned custom suspension is that it is, let's see, so this is going to be the left here, is kind of sagging just a bit to the left. So for a first quick look over at the truck, you're going to have a 6-gear gearbox, a 16-gallon tank, all-time all-wheel drive, and full-time diff lock as well. You're not going to have low plus or low minus, and no suspension options available in functions. Here's your interior view. You're not going to have hardly any detail at all when it does come to interior view. And looking at your window here, you're going to find this thing right here. Not sure what that is, but that's just alright. So now hopping straight into what it sounds like. Okay, so pretty stock engine sound. Let's see what it sounds like. Oh yeah, this is pretty stock engine noise here on a lot of vehicles, so that's alright. So now for the horn. Here's our horn. Okay, so it does have a horn. I've been experiencing that a lot of vehicles now do not have horns, so cool to see that this one actually does have that detail, even though it is just a normal stock horn along with the engine sound. So now we're going to go ahead and hop straight into the on-road performance test first. Then we'll run it through the first mud pit, and we'll do a suspension test to finish it off, and then do another suspension test at the end, aka jumping it. So this all should be pretty fun. Here we go. Stopwatch pulled up, and in 3, 2, 1. And we're off. Gonna go and spam clutch right off the bat with the highway gearbox. I'm expecting, with only 6 gears, 6 out of 6 gears here up here, in case it will slow us down, we're gonna go ahead and throw it into high gear and see what kind of performance we can get out of it. Okay, it's gonna, man, okay, yeah, that's way slower. I thought it was gonna start to, like, slow us down for a second, then hit a big power band and, like, put us sideways. Have seen that a lot in other trucks. now that we are done with our drag strip run, we may have lost a few seconds, but that's just alright. We really need to try it. That was 27 seconds straight down the drag strip. Now let's just go ahead and move on to the mudding performance with our mud tires. And the suspension is not very tall. Let's just go ahead and see what kind of performance we can get. Also guys, with the suspension, it seems like it is going to soak up a lot more returns, allowing you to drift a lot more rather than flip. But anyway guys, we're racing the brutal 27-second run straight down the drag strip. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, and we're off. Here is the highway gearbox. I am depending on my mud tires. Okay, finally we're out. Been sitting here for a while. That was a solid 55 seconds clear out of just the first mud pit. Alright, getting a bit dizzy here. Let's go ahead and move on next to... Oh man, we're still spinning the tires. Okay, move on next to our suspension test. Should be pretty fun. And here we are, guys. We're just going to go ahead and send it now that we are here. Oh, that was not good. So here we go, suspension test take number 2. Let's hope we do not recreate that. We're just gonna go ahead and take over some of these logs, and alright, way better. Oh, that's not good. However, I am very impressed with the suspension build. Are we gonna get stuck right here? That's one thing I wouldn't like about the suspension. I love how active and soft it is. However, I do not like it doesn't sit that high, but you get what you get. Alrighty guys, it's gonna be really hard to sit super high without super stiff suspension. So, and by the way guys, if you guys are new here, we do not time these. So I've not been timing this. We're just kind of eyeballing performance, seeing where we are going to get stuck at and if we are going to get stuck. Okay, so that just happened. I was trying to winch myself out because I was about to pronounce ourselves stuck right there. Pretty deep rut, gotta admit. But then I thought I had something going. However, my front tires refused to hop up on that log even when I was winching. Kind of flipped over. That's alright. That is the overall suspension test. Really, those deep mud ruts comes that suspension test. That's where I don't really like it. But I do love going over the logs and just the whole feel of it. But when it does come down to the mud, I really wish that there's just straight up logs for a suspension test and not just calling a rock crawling test a suspension test, because we have done that a lot in the past. However, I did not like it because a lot of the rocks were way too big. By the way guys, I don't know, I was just going on about some other stuff. That was our jump test. Did get a little bit of damage taken, and we did flip, surprisingly. Okay, and there are normally we'd be able to winch some stuff around here, but that is going to be a no for that. We cannot winch to anything. Yeah, that was 6 out of 6 gears, so I don't really know what much more we could have done for that situation. For a better suspension test, since I am very curious what the suspension could do, let's go and drive up over this. Okay. That's pretty good. Now, let's just go ahead and do this over here. We may call this the new suspension test. However, it is only for a certain length. But as you guys can see, wow, okay, that is, I'm decently impressed with that. Yeah, I'm fairly impressed with the suspension performance that I'm seeing here. So yeah, overall, I gotta admit, that is some really good suspension, 10 out of 10 suspension. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it for today's video. That is it for our FSLR 90. It's a great vehicle, 10 out of 10. Love performance, loved the suspension, loved the engine power. Just felt like it was just enough for this beast of a vehicle. And yeah, so with that, it's pretty much it for today's video guys. Once again, big shout out to Fred Swain for making this vehicle. It's a great truck. Love the build. And yeah, guys, so that's it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to measure this guys day or night. And with that, I'll catch you guys very, very soon in the next one.